Today, we are diving deep into a story that affects every single person in South Africa: the price of the food on your plate. President Cyril Ramaphosa has just sent a powerful message to the country's biggest supermarket chains, and it's a message of food, fairness, and a fight against soaring prices. In his latest letter to the nation, Ramaphosa didn't mince words. He called out the giants of retail, think Shoprite, Pick n Pay, SPAR, Woolworths, and Massmart, and urged them to do more to bring down the cost of living. His core argument? In a country where millions are struggling to put food on the table, these corporations have a moral duty to help. At the heart of this issue is a devastating crisis: food insecurity. Despite government efforts like zero-rating basic goods and subsidizing essentials, far too many South African households still experience hunger. As the president wrote, in a context of high unemployment, poverty, and slow economic growth, many households are finding it difficult to afford nutritious food. And the numbers back him up. While we hear that headline inflation has dropped, food inflation is a silent, creeping thief in our homes. The prices of everyday staples like meat and vegetables keep climbing, squeezing budgets and pushing families closer to the edge. When the Government of National Unity, or GNU, was formed, it made a big promise to tackle the cost of living crisis and food security head-on. But it hasn't been easy. A perfect storm of global shocks, local disruptions, and rising production costs has made this mission incredibly difficult. However, Ramaphosa is adamant that these challenges are not an excuse for retailers to sit back. He acknowledged their own pressures: rising energy and transport costs, supply chain nightmares, but he stressed that the private sector must play its part. The majority of South Africans rely on supermarket retailers for their food supply, he said. The private sector has an important role to play. So, the president's challenge to the Big Five was direct and clear: use your immense power not just for profit but for the people. Help ensure that nutritious food, proteins, fruits, and vegetables remains affordable for ordinary families. He did give credit where it was due, praising some chains for their efforts to hold down prices on essential items. But he also issued a pointed reminder: when you grow your market share among low-income consumers, you take on a profound responsibility. You must make healthy food accessible, not just another item on the shelf. But then, the message took a sharper, more serious turn. Ramaphosa warned against what he called the other kind of cartel operating in South Africa's food sector. He highlighted ongoing investigations by the Competition Commission, which have uncovered deeply disturbing patterns of price manipulation across the industry, from edible oils to bread and even poultry. Just this year, the Commission secured a 1 million rand settlement with an oil producer accused of price fixing. And believe me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Previous inquiries into bread cartels, milling operations, and fresh produce markets have repeatedly shown how companies can collude, creating artificial price hikes that hit consumers the hardest. The Commission has also exposed something they call the rocket and feather effect. Have you ever noticed this? When a crisis hits or costs go up, shelf prices shoot up like a rocket. But when those costs come back down, the prices seem to float down as slowly as a feather, if they come down at all. For example, even when producer costs for things like eggs, chicken, bread, and sunflower oil have decreased, the prices we pay at the checkout have remained stubbornly high. There have been a few positive exceptions, like Pilchards, which have shown more responsible pricing. But overall, the system often feels tilted against the consumer. Now, while Ramaphosa is putting the spotlight on private companies, it's fair to say that not everyone agrees retailers are the only ones to blame. Critics are quick to point out that some government policies might be part of the problem. Earlier this year, the ANC-led GNU proposed a controversial VAT increase to 17%. Economists immediately warned this would cause food prices to skyrocket. Even with a plan to expand the list of zero-rated food items, millions of households would have been hit hard. After a massive political outcry and pushback from opposition parties, the increase was eventually reduced to 16% and delayed until 2026, with support from Afrca and Boza. However, that change was later halted by the courts after legal challenges from the EFF and the DA. This whole episode shows just how complex this issue is. For ordinary South Africans, this battle over food prices isn't just about economics. It's about dignity. It's about health. It's about survival. President Ramaphosa's message is a clear signal that the status quo isn't working. In a country where sitting down for a family meal has become a source of anxiety and stress for so many, every single player, government, big business, and citizens alike must step up and take responsibility. Because when you strip everything else away, food is not just another commodity to be traded for profit. It's a fundamental human right, and it is the ultimate measure of how a nation truly cares for its people. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think the retailers are doing enough? Or is this a bigger problem that involves government policy too? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you in the next one.